Peace and love. It's your boy Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam. You're in the building with Dream Keepers Radio, the podcast, and I'm with Carl Crusher, all the way from Southern Utah. Correct?
That's right.
Hey man, tell me a little bit what you do. I heard you was on the History Channel. I heard that part.
Yeah.
That's amazing accomplishment right there.
Oh, thank you.
You was on Ancient Aliens or something?
Kind of, yeah. So there's the top show right now is actually one called The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and they did
Oh,
a spin-off
yeah.
show, called Beyond Skinwalker. So I was kind of like a research scout that went around and found other locations that have the same UFO and paranormal phenomena that the government's researched at. And so
I've seen the Skinwalker Ranch. That's when like a billionaire or somebody bought it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and he was keeping everything secret.
Yeah, so the government invested in private contractors, specifically Bob Bigelow here from Vegas. He
Oh,
still
wow.
has his headquarters here in Vegas.
Wow.
And they bought a property here in Nevada at a place just north of Area 51 called Mount Wilson Ranch. And that's the place that I found and started researching. And that same guy also owned Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. So they went public with Skinwalker Ranch and like announced that he owned it, but they kept the one here in Nevada a secret. But
Wow.
at both places, they were doing like close encounters research, trying to contact aliens.
So the government does research on extraterrestrials?
Yeah,
Really? So
Yes.
so you can say it's real then, right?
they've put millions of dollars into reverse
Wow.
engineering programs.
They don't even do that in the projects where I'm from.
No, right. Instead of putting it into the communities, it's
Right.
more contacting aliens.
Wow. So
Yes.
so this is what you actually do?
Yeah, I go down to all these different hot spots associated with that. I try to find the areas where the government has actually invested money in research. Like one of the places I just came back from was Hestalen, Norway, and they had a
Wow.
Project Blue Book sent a guy named J. Allen Hynek over there.
Project Blue Book.
Yeah, that's a whole government program.
Wow.
So he spent time over there in this valley in Norway. So I just kind of go to these spots like that we know that the government's been and researched, and I
Right.
try to see what's real and what's not.
So
Go follow up with it.
I study law. That's
Yeah.
what I study. I'm not a licensed attorney, tax expert. I do this for educational, informational purposes only. Had to get a disclaimer out there.
Right.
But with that being stated, to me, alien means something different. So if I change my status to an alien, you think I can get funding?
You could.
I mean, ain't that how it works? Ain't that what foreign aid is to aliens?
And also that I think there's even benefits to the belief systems and religious or tribal elements that you could factor into belief in
Yeah, we're gonna get
aliens.
to the private life later because you're adept to that as well.
You have to be.
But I just want to know more about what you do. So
Yeah.
this is your job
Yeah.
to do what? Track extraterrestrial activity?
Yeah, so full time, basically on paper, I'm an actor, a cast member for a film company that I own. That's all embedded in there.
So,
So
you're about that private life.
I am about the private life. Yeah. So technically, all my clothes is wardrobe.
Oh,
Right. All my travel and trips and all of that
I
is
get it.
for like my trip
so-
expenses as a filmmaker.
All right.
And so I go to
I
these,
like that.
yeah.
I like that.
Right. So now all my trip expenses, my fuel, all of that is under the film company.
I like that. See, you got me thinking about the private again. So I
Yeah.
never thought about this. So if I created a film company,
Yeah.
they couldn't touch. Because listen, I'm telling you, what I believe in. Because obviously you're a conspiracy theorist as well. If you believe in aliens,
Right.
I believe they took away our photo albums, our family paintings. They try to wipe away our history.
Right.
So you could put your photo albums under the filmmakers.
All of that, everything that you film and all of that becomes like that record that you're
That endowment.
recording, that endowment that you're
It's family history.
filmmaking. Yes.
Yeah.
And and then you are an actor within the
Wow.
the company that's owned by the trust, and then
Oh,
the company
That's amazing.
even rents a room out in your house as a film studio to
I
podcast.
get
in.
all of that because I do it as a record company.
Yeah.
I have Goodyear Records. It's in Arizona, and then I got Goodyear Entertainment. It's a record company, and that's what establishes my faith-based organizations
Right.
as a nonprofit. But I do it as entertainment. It captures all my intellectual properties.
Right.
Like, the name, trademarks the name.
Right.
Record companies do life insurance.
Right.
All of that.
Everything.
So that's how I do it. But you can do it under a film company too.
Under film company, because then your
Yeah,
hair,
I never
makeup,
thought
travel.
of that though.
You can travel foreign places, and then as a diplomat and a filmmaker,
Wow.
documenting your trip and everything to foreign countries, all of that
So
becomes.
you know what a diplomat is as well.
Yeah, everything.
Wow.
Then everything becomes an expense, like a deduction.
That's what it is. So
Yeah.
that's what I tell the world, my private community. Who cares about bills? They're deductions.
They're not bills.
The deductions.
Everything becomes a business expense that's at a cost to your
Yes.
company now as a
Yes.
filmmaker.
Yes,
Your
everything.
hair, makeup, clothes, travel, and then even a certain amount every week per diem for lunch if you have
Right. I do meal
company
plans.
parties and meal
Yeah,
plans,
meal
food
plans,
prep.
yes.
Yeah.
That you can get a private chef if every day you have a business meeting.
You can create film contracts with yourself and your other colleagues and things like that, and then your
Wow.
your gym membership to get ready for that role as an actor is
That
all
was called
included.
fringe benefits.
Yes,
Stipends and fringe benefits.
it's all
This
there.
is totally what I do.
Yes.
It comes from the church though.
Yes.
I do music and everything that I speak, all my intellect, because I have ASCAP and
Yeah.
BMI. I have my record label with ASCAP and then my actual Don Kilam name with BMI. And that's my publishing. They go grab that and anything, because YouTube don't pay me. They demonetize me.
Right.
So yeah. So I get it all though.
Right.
I get it all. But I do my music on my reels. I got millions of views
Yes.
on my reels. And my music's in the background. A lot of people don't know that.
It's your own music.
Yeah, it's my own music.
Right.
Yeah.
The music is really where they police everything on YouTube. They can really
Right.
track it with their algorithms. through the music.
Right. Yeah, and that I get royalty checks just for my music every 3 months, every 90 days, like clockwork.
Nice.
Clockwork. So that's amazing. I start off with making my name an LLC,
Yeah.
and then that's going to be the operating company because it's out here. The holding company is in Nevada, actually, because it's charging order protection state. There's 5 charging order protection states, and you can remain anonymous in these states if you choose to. You don't have to report anything to the IRS, and there's no taxes. That's Nevada, Alaska, Delaware, Wyoming, and South Dakota. I don't know if you knew that or aware of that. And then I have the beneficial owner be my private trust. You can do a South Dakota trust, but I show my private members where to go to get offshore trusts to handle all of that.
Right.
One of them's Cook Islands.
Right.
You can get a holding company in Dubai, just foreign income or alien income. But you got to see, the foreigners got rights.
Right.
And because everybody is foreign to the United States corporation anyways. People don't understand that. So that's how I look at aliens. And that's how I said I was looking at things. But I do believe in extraterrestrial activity. I believe in those things. I believe in different realms. I believe in, you talked about shapeshifters.
Yeah.
So you believe in those? Have you caught one of those? You seen one of those?
That's
what was at the ranch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've seen things that you would classify as like a shadow figure that changed shapes, and I've seen what would be like.
You believe those are aliens?
I do, but I don't know. Depends on what you consider an alien to be or where they come from.
I haven't opened up about a lot of stuff that I've witnessed, but I've definitely seen shadow people. But I thought they was just like, maybe a lower level entity.
Yeah.
They don't do good things when they show up. It's evil activity.
So I've heard you talk about this though. So you believe the universe basically is like music, right? Like everything is like a symphony, and there's different
it's a sound.
frequencies
Yeah.
and vibrations and sound. So we have our physical reality, and our linear timeline is an illusion of that, where we're like existing on a certain bandwidth of that frequency that we call physical reality.
Right.
That's like Earth. We are just sitting on this couch right now, and it's all very convincing, like it's actually real.
Right.
Right? Like a hologram.
We know
that's
everything
real.
is atoms and vibrations.
Yeah, so we're in a solidified vibration of that.
Right.
That's where it's actually physical. But that doesn't mean that just below us in the basement or above us there or next door, there isn't parallel dimensions or frequencies.
Right.
Just like you have on an iPhone or on your phone right now, you have multiple albums that could be downloaded and saved in there that literally all exist parallel to each other simultaneous, just as like energy and information on the hard drive. And the universe could be the same way, where like where we consider the souls of the dead to go, or other extraterrestrial life. It might not actually be from other planets in outer space, but it could be on these
Right.
parallel dimensions that are right next to
Right.
us. But then you have these places like Skinwalker Ranch or Hestalen Valley or these other weird hot spots that the government's been, where our reality might be distorted or have a thin
Right,
spot
because
or
I've heard
a
about a big
glitch.
giant wolf being there.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Where like
they
things from
never
the
see one,
past,
yeah.
things from the past or the future and alternate parallel timelines like bleed through and slip through into our reality,
Right.
and we glimpse them or interact with them for a minute and then they're gone.
Right, and it's like
That's like paranormal to
So when
us.
I was when I was watching about Skinwalker Ranch, I'm telling you, this was just a couple weeks ago, so it was crazy. We were talking about it, but you know, the only people they could talk to and interview and get answers from was, you know, old tribes,
Indigenous people.
indigenous people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. You know, this is the only people. They're like, these are the only people that can explain this. Like,
That's the only place that I've been able to get answers to my own experiences, because I
me
was
too.
I was raised in organized religion in the Mormon church,
I
and
liked your organized religion, though. So I study your organized religion, so I just need you to know that.
yeah,
And when
yeah,
I help certain people, they shut them down. Just know that.
right,
But yeah, and it's very similar to Jehovah's Witnesses.
yeah. Were you raised Jehovah's Witness then, or
My
did you
mom
just
let me do
familiar?
what I want.
So yes, but
I
not.
was everywhere, you know. But when so listen, when I started studying sovereignty, I went straight to. I was raised around Amish people though too. We used to go to their stores.
Yeah.
So I thought about Amish people, and then I thought about how Jehovah's Witnesses didn't have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I said, okay, they know something. But I never seen a Jehovah's Witness locked up except a couple black folks.
Yeah.
But they was always enlightened though.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses were always one step ahead of the curve. That's when I learned what the word synopsis is. To this day, I know how to create a synopsis.
To the back of your book.
I know how to say the word and everything. From a
Right.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
But I know when they become successful, they band together.
Yeah.
You know, and they reach up quick. But you know, we already talked about the degrees. Once you start waking up, they're like, "Hey, we've been waiting for you, son."
Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing that you stuck out to me, because I came up through the Moors. I always wanted to be a Mason. I always studied them as an early age. I don't know what fascinated
Okay.
me. I didn't know Moors were actually Masons that
Right.
just told the truth in the public. That's
Original
what they
Masons.
do. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I started learning about that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm initiated into I am a Moor. You know, and the only thing I have to do is tell people that they have a nationality, that they're not white, they're not black. No, you are white. White
Right.
means purity. Purity means God. God's supreme ruler of the earth.
Yeah.
They can't own land. They can only own the building.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can only shapeshift on paper.
I know, right?
I compare it
It's
to
all
voodoo.
illusions, right? Everything
compare
they
it to
do is
voodoo.
the magic. It's all
Yeah.
spells, casting, illusions,
Yeah.
paper, word casting, getting
That's
you
it.
to give oaths and covenants.
That's it. That's what music, that's what music does, though. So you hear a certain frequency or vibration. Now she's shaking her booty in the club, thinking she's gonna find love.
Yeah.
And that's how life works. Or when your mama says your first and your middle name, your whole soul shakes.
Your whole life.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
When they say your full middle and
I said
last
your
name,
mom.
look,
I
ooh,
said
your mom. Your mom. Yeah.
But because it's
Yeah.
different when your mother says it than when the government says it. Yeah. It's called a
They make you say it with your hand on the Bible.
They make you swear on the
They
Bible.
make you swear your full name
cussing
and
out- you
spell it
cursing
out
the
on the
Bible.
Bible. They make you say all caps.
But you understand the Bible is your lineage.
Yeah.
And when you have the birth certificate, that puts you at the slave status as a Roman slave. Because it's still in the Roman law. They're in the canon law, ecclesiastical law. That's why he has a mourning robe. And the judge wears the black robe, the pope wears the white one.
It's the whole reason they use the Bible.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why you have to introduce your family Bible.
There's probably a lot of people, your audience probably gets all this talk.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that would hear
They
us
believe
talk
in-
like this would not even
Yeah,
understand
no.
what we're talking about.
No, but
It's like another
my camera
code.
guy though, he knows. See,
It's like a
man,
coded language, right?
You know, this is I only hang around people that know my language. Right or wrong. It ain't nothing new to me. I don't hang out with you if you can't talk my language. I just learned how to create that atmosphere. I learned how to
Right.
create my reality. You know, before Oprah was a billionaire, she had to believe it first. You can't just bring something. So I just I learned how to pay attention to the people that is gonna feed me prosperity and feed my soul and feed my spirit correctly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even try to fit in.
You can't.
No, yeah,
You can't.
yeah,
Once
yeah.
you understand how the universe and how your life works like that, you can't cheat it.
Right.
You realize that pushing against that, there's laws in place, like natural laws of the universe that have a reflex that,
I'm glad that you said natural law. So I call it Islam. I, self, law, and master. You know, gravity is a law. What goes up is going to come down. Gravity is an actual law. So I look at things like that. You know, the law of attraction.
right,
You know, that's one of people's favorite laws that they talk about. But there's more laws than that. You know,
right,
duality,
right.
relativity. That's just this realm. I consider this realm a test realm.
Yeah.
You know, and I do believe in higher beings and higher entities. But starting off, I believe we're foreign to this realm. I
Right.
believe, you know, this realm was created for a safe haven, so to speak, and it's been infiltrated, and that
Yeah.
was duality.
That's why I think the whole idea of UFOs, the paranormal and supernatural, people like brush it off. But when you actually get around the physicists, the engineers, the scientists that are involved in it, they consider it like the forefront of evolutionary consciousness. And
Absolutely.
it's like the inspirational glimpse that lets you peek behind the curtain to realize that the reality that we're in comes baked in with these man-made laws, but there's something out there that isn't
So,
following that,
I just want
that isn't obeying those rules at all.
I believe that this system, because it's a system,
Yes.
I believe it's AI. It's been AI for a long time running the system. It's the puppet master.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's something higher up, a higher being. But I believe the closest thing to God is a woman, and the closest thing to the devil is a woman.
Mm.
That's what I believe. You know, no offense to anybody out there, but it takes a man to raise a man, but a woman to raise a nation. So a nation can only go as high as its woman.
It's true. And technically in like old esoteric stuff, and when you get into this, the idea of like the divine masculine and the divine feminine are two equals or two sides of the same coin, to where we have all of physical creation and manifestation and the power to manifest and create and build things and write books and do all that stuff is like a masculine force in the world. But then there's this emptiness or this space around it that remains untouched, that's like a womb or this perfect untouched void.
The womb is
that
the
is
matrix.
the divine, is this divine feminine,
That's
but
what
it coalesces into this matrix
The
that is
matrix
driven
means
by,
womb.
Yes.
That's what matrix
Yeah.
means. A lot of people don't know that. The matrix does mean womb. Like that, a lot of people don't know that. So I always looked at because I believe the moon is ascendant master, the sun's ascendant master. I always believe that that's the hologram that makes up the earth.
Yeah, ancient people you mentioned too. They everywhere they have these stone circles, they were doing geomancy, like the tribal circles
Yes.
and old stuff and
Bro, you're in
Stonehenge,
tune.
and all that stuff was to do with the rotation of the Big Dipper around the North
The
Star.
Big Dipper. Oh wow.
Yeah. So you had the Big Dipper, Ursa Major, going around the North Star, and that they call it like the wheel of time because it circles around, but really it's like a big phallus. It's like a big ball
I
of
talk to the
cock, right?
stars.
And it's going around like reproduction around. It's like the masculine and feminine force of the universe. So they were doing rituals like time travel rituals for thousands of years.
Everything is of the stars. Everything is of the skies. You know, Sunday the sun, Monday the moon, was Tuesday's Venus, Wednesdays
It's
I don't know.
coded
it's
into our language.
Thursday's
yeah.
Thor, Friday. You know, Saturday Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything, man. Janus, that's a Greek god.
Because we talk about speaking spells, but think about from when you were born, your parents and school and society embedded that language
Embedded
into
it.
your
It-
own thoughts.
belief.
Your own thinking in your own head is
People
in a
still believe the
language
sky
that
is
is taught
blue.
to you, right?
Like I had a dinner last week, and they still try to force me to believe the sky is blue. I said you can't. They're like, we can all agree on the sky is blue. I'm like, no, we can't, because you can't see what I see, and you can't force me to say that we see the same colors. You can't force me to say that we see the same thing. You can't force me. You know, you can't.
Yeah. Like we could look out there and both call it blue, but what you're actually
Look at that at nighttime,
seeing,
though.
what you're actually seeing as a witness could be completely nuanced and different.
You don't even
subjective
know.
and
You was
right.
programmed to believe what you think you see.
Right.
And that's how Don Kalam got ahead in life, by thinking outside the box. Just erase it. The smartest people that I ever assist are the ones who can't read and write. spellcasting. We talked about that, right? Them are and then when they discover non-Kalam, because they've been told they're stupid their whole life.
They're not hijacked.
I get to show them. All they gotta do is get their mind under control, because you can't be programmed.
Right.
Who's smarter, somebody with autism or someone paying taxes? The dog. Dog's breathing. It ain't identify as a dog, y'all. No, I'm playing.
It is a lot harder when you're like 30, 35 years in the system.
Right.
And then you wake up and you try to fix it all. It's a hot mess, you know?
Get high, forget it all. Smoke weed, everybody.
You got to climb out of that.
I forget shit. But listen, so I just like, for me, it's easier to remember the truth, because I don't remember my lies. I've always been a bad liar. And I didn't know that when I decided to just tell the truth, because I got tired of getting caught in lies, I didn't know that the truth rewarded the subconscious.
Right.
It's always now, so you can forget about yesterday. You ain't got to worry about shit. That's how I look at it. Don stands for deciding on now. D-O-N. Deciding on now. Or dreams obey narrators. Because you write the script.
You do.
Yeah. Then I used to be in nursing school. It stand for the director of nursing.
You were?
But yeah, I was in nursing school first. That's the first time I went to college.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, then I got a case.
You were like, no.
Goodbye.
I don't want to do this. Not for me.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
But we always studied law, though. I've been studying law since I was 17. But like we were saying, when I first started, I was just studying codes and statutes.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
You're never going to get it.
That's all these attorneys have.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. All these attorneys, all they do is work codes and statutes.
They just shuffle on the abacus of the surface of it. They don't step back and see the whole castle. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
So you've had encounters? You've seen aliens?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I've definitely had experiences that you would call like abduction experiences and interactions.
You've been abducted? That sounds like rape.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a whole missing time and everything involved with it, so I don't know.
That happens to
like...
me sometimes too. You don't wake up with no weird holes or nothing.
No.
Oh, man.
I woke up on different parts of the house, on the different floor of the house.
Wow.
When I was a kid, I would wake up.
You was summoning them? No way. You was looking for them, right?
I was looking for him?
Yeah, was you looking for them then?
Not as a kid.
Before?
No,
Okay.
I was terrified as a kid. I go looking for him now. Now as an adult, I'm like looking for answers. I go.
Shit shows up when you're looking for it.
Yeah. Now, technically, I have, not only do I go looking for them, but I have like scientific sensors in my house that are monitored. And that data, when I have an encounter and experience, something follows me home, all that gets recorded and even goes back
You're in Utah
into a study.
now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you see some shit out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over. I've been in other parts of the
The
world.
mountains are different.
Yeah, they are different.
Yeah.
The whole state, this whole area, Area 51's right over those mountains there.
Wow.
Right over there is
Wow.
where they're supposed to keep the
Camera
aliens.
can't see it, but
Yeah.
wow. Well, so we did. So look, I said on the news. I seen somebody on the news. I've been into this. UFO just means unidentified flying object. So yeah, it can be anything. You know, it could. It could even be military. You know,
Yeah.
it could be a lot of different things. You know. But I've been into these things. I studied deep and I started learning about the Anuki. The Anuki, I don't know if you study that or know anything about that. Do you believe that?
Like the
story?
ancient Sumerians and all that, like how they
just came
came.
down here, they was mining gold or something.
Yeah, I think there's evidence. I don't know if it was necessarily them or where they came from, but I think you have different cultures all over the world that reported almost the same type of interaction.
If you go in the book of Ezekiel, how it was explained to me, that was a UFO they were trying to explain, but they can only use the wording that they had.
Yeah.
You know, you only if there's something that comes outside of what you're programmed with your words, you don't know how to explain it.
Right.
You know?
But everywhere that happened, you see the same things, like in Egypt or Mesopotamia or South America. Those cultures all, for like 3,000 years, all built pyramids, and did the same similar types of rituals.
You know, there's some in St. Louis where I'm from.
They're all over.
Yeah, it's in the Illinois side. The mound builders were there.
Is that St. Louis? So I was trying to remember where Monk's Mound is. I think that's in
I don't know where
Ohio.
that's at. But yeah,
There's pyramids here in
my
America.
family,
though.
my family comes from the Mound people for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's part of the tribe. They go everywhere.
The Moors. So they get a lot of people that talk about the mud flood and like the old, like a lot of these ancient buildings that were founded. You know how they all play
Right.
word games were actually
yeah.
found. Like I think even the Mormon Salt Lake Temple, when the pioneers came, I think they found that building already there and went in and
I teach in
remodeled
trustee
it. I think
training.
there's a lot of that.
In
went
trustee
on.
training, I teach there's a difference between founded by and funded by.
Right. Found it. It's like they found it and then
Found it.
we founded it.
And somebody else funds it.
Yeah.
But that's the same way with like all these ACBUs. People don't know that the Rockefellers with endowments. They have endowments with the Rockefellers, so they'll always feed the Rockefeller family.
Right.
And that's what we was talking about with the Mormons. What'd you say about the endowments with the Mormons?
You go through and receive an endowment. So they have it built into the religion. When you go up and decide that you're going to do the rituals within the temple, that when they build their big billion-dollar temples all over the place, the membership goes in to receive their endowment specifically. And that's a process where you go in and basically you have your given name, right? So I'm Carl Andresen's my given name.
My congregation is gonna understand everything
All
you're
this,
saying,
right?
so I love it.
But
I
it's
love
built into a religion that came out of the 1800s. So you got to fathom.
Right.
It's a Masonic order that took on a Christian covering and does all this embedded. So you go through as a member, and they don't teach you this. You have to figure it out later. Like you
being
said.
hoodwinked.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
degree number one.
Yeah.
Welcome, son. You've been hoodwinked. You learned.
You got
woke up.
tricked.
Now, welcome to degree number 2.
Right. So you go there, and they literally, when I went through, you take all your clothes off and put on a white apron. It's all ritualized.
Initiated for
You
real.
get initiated. They wash you and anoint you with water and oil, and then you get a new name, which is a Hebrew name, one of the 12 tribes that you're adopted into. So you're no longer like an American citizen. Now you're of the tribe of Israel, adopted into the family, right?
Let's go. Tribe life.
And then as soon as you're given the new name and adopted into the tribal life, then you go through and receive your endowment. But immediately as you receive the endowment, you make oaths and covenants to give them all to God and all to the church. Immediately,
Oaths and covenants, keywords.
Oaths and covenants. And then after you go through the rituals of all the oaths and covenants, literally making handshakes with the officiators to receive them all and give them all officially, then you go up one at a time and pass through the veil, which is literally like the Wizard of Oz's curtain. And you have to give them the secret handshakes and then and passwords, and then they welcome you into like heaven.
Do you give consultations on the private life?
No, but it's all baked in. You could though, but that's the whole thing. They hijack it all. So right when you're supposed to
That's lit. You
receive your new identity, you're supposed to receive your tribe. You're supposed to now become an independent, sovereign soul. Instead, right then is when you raise your arm and give it all to them.
Sounds like
and
the
all
record
to the
label.
church.
Sounds
Yes.
like the United States.
Yes. And you sell your soul.
It sounds like
immediately.
every organization out there.
Yeah. So my whole thing was when I realized all of that.
That was a private agreement, though, so the government
Yes.
can't interfere with that contract.
Right.
That's amazing. Shout out to the Mormons, man.
But then the church as a corporation uses all of that membership for their like
$1 billion industry.
$300 billion industry
Yeah,
and
they
their tax
securitize
write-offs
all
and
of that
everything,
shit
and they
for
claim
sure.
all of that.
Yeah, all your assets is probably theirs. They
You
claim
gave it
that
to them.
shit.
You gave it.
All to God.
Yeah.
So listen, literally, that's what I do with the Kingdom of Kilam. I gave everything to God,
Yes.
and that's how I maneuver. And just like you said, your clothes, they pay for that. That's your wardrobe.
Yeah.
I gotta remember that. This is my wardrobe.
It's your wardrobe now
You
on
know?
camera.
You know, that's how I just learned the game because I was like, if you're a rapper, I'm a hip hop artist, by the way, not a rapper.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to write off weed.
Yeah.
I smoke on camera and shit. I show it on the social media. That's what I used to do, so I can could be a deductible.
It's all part of it.
Yeah.
All of that. And
I
then,
didn't want cannabis to be a liability.
and then you see why like Kanye all of a sudden comes out and releases a whole Christian album and starts a church, and you see
No doubt.
these guys, they get in a corner financially and they realize what they've done with their empire, and they don't own anything. They don't own their
They
name or
own
nothing.
nothing.
And you see them all of a sudden we're opening a church, and their
Right.
next album is all about Jesus, and
That's it.
their whole brand is is all based on that, and they flip.
Right.
It's like you saw Prince and Michael Jackson, all these guys literally almost get destroyed the hard way.
I mean, Michael
Learning
Jackson
this.
did it smart, and he was
He
part of the
figured it
Jehovah's
out.
Witness tribe. And just so you know, they warned him about the Illuminati and shit, but he chose to continue. But they did have to say in the Thriller video, but they did not. The Jehovah's Witness started shunning him because of the Thriller video. People don't know that. But it's private life. You got a private tribe. And you got to understand how powerful these organizations are, because the army can't, they ain't mess with the Mormons yet or the Jehovah's Witnesses. These people are powerful.
Right.
They're powerful.
And even the government, you run into these same pockets and systems
Right.
and shells that they create within the alien and ufology and that research, how they move money around and secret information, and if they do find something, how they own it within certain families and corporations and entities. And that's why even the president's like, I don't know what's out in Area 51, is because our country has been built and designed for this to happen, for certain people to figure it out and others to not.
So there's even conspiracy theories that JFK, because they said he was going to release about the gold standard, things like that, try to switch it up, where you get all your money when you work. But they said he was also going to talk about how they've had contact with aliens.
Yep.
Yes, that was one of the main things they shot him for.
And when you realize how much money's involved in those private contracts and that reverse engineering and the weapons technology and that, that's their bread and butter. If you had access to a time machine, or if you had, think about it, but didn't know how to make it work, that would be everything. To be able to crack the code on that shit.
No, so what really had me deep, I studied it just all night and all day for 3 weeks straight. I didn't get no sleep. I came across some book, can't remember what it's called or anything, but they said it was from Russia. And it was they translated it, they had the Russian book, and they had the translation version. And it was 101 species they've contacted in Russia. The Russian government has contacted, I seen the Greys. They said the Greys is the most common alien that contacts humans.
Right.
So you have you ever seen a crop circle?
In person one time.
That's lit.
There was one in Idaho that popped up when I was a teenager, and so
You seen as a teenager?
me and my friends drove out to the farm where it was at,
And saw the crop circle.
and we saw it in the field. Yeah.
Wow.
Walked around in it and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it just happened.
There's no explanation for those things either.
No,
So what do
no.
you believe about that?
That was in the middle of nowhere, out in the country on just some
I
farm.
wouldn't have went. I'd be scared as shit.
I think that there's, like we said, the different layers of reality. I think the way that
I've seen
other
shit.
dimensional
So I
entities will communicate with
I
us.
believe in aliens. I've seen shit. So
What have you
I've
seen? No, I haven't heard.
I've seen ghosts.
Have you ever told
So
your
I've seen
story on
ghost
camera?
stories. Hell no, you don't want nobody put you on no medication. But I'm just tell you, one place is Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I was there. Yeah, I was soliciting. I ended up going to jail the next day. But yeah, for soliciting without a permit, they kept me for a whole day too. That shit sucked.
Wow.
But yeah, and then I started looking it up and I saw they have extracurricular activity out there, aliens out there. But I be seeing flying shit. And then my homie, he does X pills, right? So sometimes you just don't listen to him, right? But yeah, this was in Houston, and he showed me some shit in the sky, fucked me up. Yeah, it's like I've seen UFOs and shit. Yes.
So did he take you to a spot to see it?
Yes.
Or did
he said it
did
comes
he
at
do the
certain
whole
times.
remote viewing, the contact thing where you do a meditation?
He was just he just took me
He
to
just was
somewhere and
here's
showed
a
me.
spot.
Yeah, he was like, it comes at this certain time, and he just knew. Yeah, I thought it was crazy at first. I don't even know why I went.
But he went and showed you, huh?
Yeah, and it was legit.
Was it close?
No, I mean it's out on the outskirts going towards Galveston, from Houston to Galveston. Yeah. So
Fascinating.
yeah, I've seen shit, man. But in the house, I see ghost shit, paranormal activities. And I've always grew up to that. Like I said, I grew up in the projects in Hannibal, Missouri, Shiny Trail, Natoka. Them was tribal names. They're mounds. They put the projects on top of Indian burial grounds.
Right.
And we always, my dad never believed in ghosts until then. So yeah, we
So
always.
you went to bed every night on a burial ground, basically, or some ancient
I
ritual
was
grounds.
after a while you don't get scared no more because you're used to it. It
Right.
becomes normal.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Well, that's this whole state. Like, part of the reason why I think they put Area 51 here and why the government has done so much research,
You
even
know, they
right
got the
here.
Air Force here too.
Yeah, Nellis and
But
everything.
I never
Yeah.
seen anything crazy out here. I mean, I get a little nervous out at Lake Mead by myself at nighttime, but and dead bodies pop up there. But
Well, that
from the
too.
mob.
Yeah.
But I only seen it on the that news clip when the guy summons the UFOs and they
Yeah.
came, and there was the newscast only filmed him because they were trying to make fun of him,
Yeah.
and actually something came. So yeah,
Yeah. His name was like Moses, right?
yeah, he was an Israelite or something,
He would summon them. Yeah.
and it works. It
So I
came,
do that now. So we did that in Hestalen in Norway.
and it
And
works.
we do the meditation contact
And they
protocol.
come.
Yeah. And they show up. We even did,
I bet.
we even
That's what I'm
specifically on camera. So this is what happened in Hestalen. So I'm there with a retired F-16 pilot, super skeptical guy, constantly being like, that's not a UFO, that's Starlink, that's this. He's very, very straight shooter. There with a whole group of people. We even had the French media there. So there was
Wow.
television. They're filming me. So they're filming me and interviewing me for the news. And we did it on camera. We were meditating and talking, and I was looking at the Big Dipper and the North Star because I know all the ancient rituals and methods and things. So I did the contact thing, and right there above the Big Dipper, between the Big Dipper and the North Star, this light flashed, and we saw multiple different things, and some of them even, they look like a shooting star, like when you first see it, but then you watch the night vision footage back, and these things will come into the atmosphere and they'll turn 90 degrees and stop and blink and then take off and fly around like they're living things up in the sky.
That's
moving
amazing.
around.
I've heard stories, and
Yeah.
I know there's an ancient city right now that they're uncovering in Antarctica. They got every nation there, every country there. Only people that's not a country is the Rockefeller Foundation, but everybody is there. So I know there's cities, but I remember just studying history. I've always been a nerd, and you know we've had batteries for thousands of years. People don't know that, but there's always been people coming. They've always showed us UFOs.
Right.
You know, all the ancient tribes, the hieroglyphics in ancient Kemet. They don't teach you about this in the public education, of course.
No.
But and that's why I believe it, and that's where we get most of our technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from higher life beings.
I think that's where, I mean, when you look at the people that invented a lot of the technology that we have, when you look into their methods and their journals, even like Tesla, Thomas Edison, and all those guys, they were all doing these types of meditations, and they claimed that their ideas came from these other dimensions or from some higher realm.
So you know about Edgar Casey too?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what's up. I'm a nerd, man. I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I do Edgar Casey shit, so
Me too.
you know what I mean?
That's all
I
embedded.
get back. I come back. They say, don't call them downgrades, call them upgrades.
And you mentioned Rockefellers; they're heavily into the UFO
I mean,
stuff.
yeah, you
That
know,
family's invested
they've been
in-
said they shapeshifters.
Yeah.
I mean, Kardashians too.
Right? They could be.
They mastered that, but there is. I do believe there's because you know Nevada's got the mole people, you know the underground people.
Yeah.
So look, and they have a king, so they're sovereign. The police can't fuck with them.
They have a king down there?
Yeah, they have a king, King Mo. But no, so it's like there's other people that are underground or maybe in the mountains or whatever, because they said that I think at the Skinwalker Ranch somebody can run fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of different shit they seen down there. They said I support them. It's all good. It's gonna shut off. We keep it
Time
shut
to-
up. We're gonna keep
You're
going.
good.
I cut it out. But yeah. So I believe that there is people, maybe even other. I believe in Bigfoot. I'm from Missouri. You heard of Missouri Monster?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's 30 miles from where I was raised in Hannibal, Missouri. And people don't know that Mark Twain and Nikola Tesla were friends.
They were?
Yes,
I didn't
people don't know that. They
I
don't want
didn't
you to know
they
that.
were friends.
The government took most of Tesla's technology. That's
They
where
did.
Bluetooth came from.
Yeah.
Shit, people don't know that. People
They
don't know that.
hijacked it. There was like a whole fight, and people went in and stole his patents, and there's whole stories behind that. And then the different families that ended up with his knowledge and technologies ended up being a lot of our major weapons developers and
Right.
contractors for the
That's
government.
crazy. He wouldn't sell out. That's why you know Thomas Edison, because Nikola Tesla wouldn't sell out.
Right.
And all Thomas Edison stuff. I don't know if you know this. All Edison, his main go-to guys was black.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go look this up. Same page with the first person who made a car was black people.
Yeah.
And they gave it to Henry Ford, but he mastered the manufacturing plant, and he actually got the idea from George Washington Carver.
Right.
And George Washington Carver was mixed. People don't know that, and he was in Iowa. And the reason why they allowed him to live because he was a genius.
Right.
Is they castrated him if they allowed him to live. People don't know these things.
They steal all the history, and
Yeah.
they take credit for all of it. That's why they don't want to teach about the ancient carvings and petroglyphs and things.
So would you say it's
even
easier
around
for
here.
black people to contact aliens then?
I think it's more natural for indigenous people that
Me too.
belong on the land.
Indigenous
Yeah.
people, see, he corrected. He used he used the nationality. He used the correct terms.
Well, yeah.
But I do as well.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. But they're scared of that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, me too.
Yeah.
But I would go with you. I go contact some shit with you, man.
Yeah, and I think we're at a point now to where it's all about who you are and your soul and like what your integrity is.
I was told
Yeah.
they're about to start releasing to the public the truth about their contacts with aliens. Yeah.
I think there's two hands in it. I think there's people in the government that know that want it to come out, and they feel like it's time and we're way overdue, that people need to know this. It's going to transform humanity. But there's also straight up evil wizards in the government, dude, that are like
that's who's
that are
running.
nefarious and do not want it to come out
I
at
do
all.
believe that. I don't say reptilians or shapeshifters are in the government. I believe that they do have actual people that they, maybe facial reconstruction, things of that nature that look very similar to people that are controlled, that's
Yeah.
in the government, I even heard Jim Carrey was Joe Biden. That was funny. I don't know. I think Jim Carrey would do no shit like that. You know what I mean?
Who knows?
He started on In Living Color shit.
Right.
But no, so I do believe we have extraterrestrial life. I do believe they're here to help us. I did there's trusted sources, I'm not gonna tell people because they're really in the public. But I was always told about the Galactic Council. They have somebody directly with the government that they have contact with.
Mm-hmm.
And if things don't get better for us because they don't like the black and white thing because it's a huge divide, they can't believe that this shit's still going on, that something's going to be done and they're going to intervene. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was told these. And I learned about the light languages and things of that nature. And I believe it.
Yeah.
And I've been in Native American spirituality. I've learned with lots of different tribes. I definitely believe in contact with other life forms. They create portals and shit.
Yeah.
Like, they can do that themselves. And a lot of people don't know that. I've been with tribes that can create portals and go grab books that you'll never seen.
Yeah. I think it's important that and cool just in self-discovery to figure out where you live, what was the ancient myths and the weird cryptids
go.
and interesting things right where you're at. And then also look into your own ancestry and your own
There you go.
heritage and see where those merge. And if you feel lost, like spiritually or with the whole phenomena or trying to get answers to your life, you start to tap into that and you open those doorways that might be closed to you. Like, because it doesn't really matter like what background you come from or where you're at, or like if you're in some terrible situation or whatever, like you probably live in an area where there was spiritual stuff that was done for thousands of years, like right nearby.
Right.
in
I
ancient
believe
times.
the
Like-
Moors told me the way the United States is established, where it's at due to the stars, that this is considered a North Gate. So this
Right.
is considered a promised land in the Bible,
Right.
a land of hot and cold. It gets hot and cold here. Other lands don't do that.
Right.
So I was always told the Mississippi River is the Nile River. I was always taught that ancient Kemet was in Illinois. Egypt's in Illinois. Chicago's Mecca.
Right.
I was taught these things.
Right.
So
And look at how now we have this modern interpretation. Basically, the Roman Empire is still alive.
yeah, it's still alive.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
It's
thing.
different clothing.
Absolutely.
They change costumes, but they use the same
Right.
magic.
The same way with the magic we're saying with the birth certificate. That's a slave title.
Right.
A lot of people don't know you can use a baptismal certificate, a baby land deed, a patent of nativity.
Right.
Put all that under a family trust.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, your family trust should establish these things. When you go to church, don't they give you a baptismal certificate?
Yeah, all that.
All right, your church actually, if the Mormons probably securitized it.
They figure all of that out, and then
Yeah.
everybody, the regular membership all treats it just as a belief system, but
Right.
the owners of the
Yeah,
corporation,
absolutely.
the prophet is also the president of the church,
Right.
the corporations
Yeah,
of the church.
right, no doubt. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know
It's
that
deep.
I think they have trustees and boards there in the Mormons. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, Jehovah's Witness
Councils.
They have councils.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and just like
Councils and
Russia,
quorums.
prime minister.
So they have a quorum of the 12, just like the 12 apostles.
Oh, wow.
They have different quorums and councils. Yeah.
Wow. And back to that endowment. You said they do endowments. I tell people to create the family trust and create a family library so you can hand down endowments to the family library. The offspring should never be the beneficiary. They should acquire positions within the nonprofit or the private members association or private ministry association, whatever you decide to establish. But you've heard the Barack Obama library, the Ronald Reagan library, things like that. You can create a family library, and that's how you hand endowments tax-free, your family's wealth.
And you can fill the library with historical artifacts and artwork, even if you're the one that did the paintings.
Right.
You can
Absolutely.
have an art appraiser appraise the artwork.
I know people that do that.
And then you can insure that artwork
Absolutely.
and then go use it as collateral to
Absolutely.
get equity or
Get
loans
loans.
for your
Yeah.
real estate.
I know people that actually do that. I've helped somebody that actually does that. He does his own paintings, done over 50 paintings, got an appraisal, got the insurance, and he used that to get loans.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that process.
People just get in their individual lives, get overwhelmed with the day-to-day. You wake up in the morning and just making coffee, rotating the laundry, and the
Right,
general
that's it.
things. Their mental energy is so consumed with that rat race that they never
Right.
see above those clouds or see through the veil to realize that there's a way out and that you can
Right.
get out
There's
of it.
always a way out. I mean, I believe
Yeah.
God is good all the time. Discover your purpose. Your life is differently. Like I said, my life slows up. Now it's time to learn a life lesson. I
Right.
believe in school you learn a bunch of lessons, then you receive a test. In life you get the test and then you receive the lessons.
Right.
That's how God works in your life.
Hindsight.
Yeah, hindsight,
You got to
man.
look back and go, oh.
Hey man, I absolutely think you're amazing though. I just think I appreciate you coming down.
Thank
And you have any last words, and tell us how we can follow you.
I'm Carl Crusher online. That's my actor name and persona and what I have the
That's
trademark and everything for. So yeah, Carl Crusher anywhere online, you'll be able to find me. But yeah, I'm excited. I want to see where our worlds match because you've got all
Man, you're in
the literature,
tune,
the
though.
classes. I know,
You
but
hit me out the gate with some shit. I'm like, okay, I like that I can talk to you.
well, we got to catch up then. We got to do UFO stuff when you come hang out with me.
Oh, no doubt.
And then I got to get my
would-
scaffolding working.
I would love to learn that life. I would love to learn more. I would love to see you summon some shit too.
Where do you think all these stuff came from, man? Where are you getting the ideas from that you got?
Yeah, I already know.
You came out from a rock bottom and something turned and chose you,
I believe angels are unidentified flying objects. The fuck?
It's all the same.
Angels and demons.
It's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. So I did want to say a lie is a lie, alien is a lie that you're in,
Right.
or alien is how they give it to you.
Right.
But you're alien. So aliens have when you're an alien on a legal status, you have special rights. When it comes to the United States corporation, you are alien to the United States system. When you learn who you truly are, when you start learning about that straw man name, you start learning about the intellectual property. You are an alien, you are a foreigner, and I showed you my ID, I'm a foreigner, and that's how I identify in the system.
Right.
Look how much foreign aid, they don't need no credit score to get foreign aid. All they have to do is be foreign. They have a budget for that, just like they have a budget for UFOs,
Right.
to study UFOs. So I think you should be foreign with the United States. If I'm outside the United States, I am a United States citizen. Because they'll come save you if you're in a different country. Ain't
Right.
that crazy how it works? But it's trading with the enemy act when you're at home. So that's how I move with the alien word, But I just thought you was interesting. I was like, I thought it was dope. You was following me. You hit me up. You told me to hit somebody else up. So he still hasn't reached back.
Yeah, I know.
He still hasn't reached back.
He's going through
But
stuff.
yeah, man, I love what you do, man. Keep being great. That's
Thank
what I
you.
say, man.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And you just had a house built in Utah?
I
Or-
just moved and downsized to get it out of my mortgage and go completely debt free now.
Or debt free. Congratulations.
thank
you didn't do no discharge or nothing like that.
Nothing, no,
Congratulations,
yeah.
man. You did it the right way. No headache, stress free.
Right. Just over.
But much peace and love. You already know
Thanks,
how to
man.
find me. Don Kilam, DON_KILAM on the Instagram. Much peace and love.